Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Yaskangaravanda ki jai, Shri Hara ki jai, Shri Shikara Nitai Mai Pasha Shri ki jai, Shri Talsinath Maharaj ki jai, Shri Hara ki jai, Shri Singhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Mati Devi ki jai. So reading from the Nectar of Devotion. This is still oh no, we're on to spontaneous devotional service. Spontaneous. Sri Rupa Goswami defined Raganuga Bhakti as spontaneous attraction for something, while completely absorbed in thoughts in it, with an intense desire of love. So Raganuga is spontaneous attraction, absorbed in thoughts, and intense desire of love. Devotional service executed with such feelings of spontaneous love is called Raganuga Bhakti. Devotional service under the heading of Raganuga can be further divided into two categories. One is called sensual attraction, and the other is called relationship. What's the Sanskrit for that? Sensual attraction and relationship. Is that Bhava and Rasa? I didn't see anything on. Oh, is there something on the Vaishnava calendar? On the Vaishnava calendar today, it is wow. Vashanta Pachanchi Chami Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi appearance, Saraswati Puja, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur disappearance, Shri Pundarik Vijayanidhi appearance, Shri Raghuvananda Thakur appearance, and Shri Raghunath Das Goswami the appearance. Wow. Shri Vaishnava Thakur's ki jai. Vashanta Panchami, that's the first day of spring as well, isn't it? Usually the deities are dressed in yellow on the first day of spring. They look very full of the joys of spring this morning, the deities. So there's a lot to read,
Yeah.
Starting from Vashanti, okay. Vasanta Pachami, the first day of spring in Vrindavan, on this day the deities are offered many flowers, leaves, and new shoots of grass. The deities in the temples, especially in Vrindavan, wear yellow or yellow-green on this day. The Brijbasis paint designs on Krishna's body and perform special arting for him. It is appropriate to offer yellow flowers too. Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi, the Supreme Lord has three different internal Shaktis, Shri, Bhu, and Nila. Bhu Shakti appears as Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi in Gaura Leela to assist in Shri Caitanya Sankirtan movement. King Satyajit, the father of Satyabhama, in Krishna Leela appeared in Gauranga Leela as the Brahman Sanat Mishra, Devi's father. Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi overflowed with all good qualities. Her beauty surpassed the goddess of fortune. She was devoted to her parents and dutifully followed scriptural injunctions. Regularly she worshipped Tulsi Devi and observed vows of austerity such as bathing 3 times daily in the Ganges. Whenever she met Sachimatra at the Ganges, Vishnu Priya would humbly bow down at her feet. Sachi Devi often thought that chaste, beautiful Vishnu Priya would make an ideal bride for her son, Nimai, After Lakshmi Priya Devi, Lord Chaitanya's first wife, died in separation from the Lord, Nimai Pandit married Srimati Vishnu Priya Devi. Chaitanya Mangal and Chaitanya Bhagavat elaborate descriptions of this most auspicious wedding. Buddhivanta Khan, a rich landowner, bore all the expenses of the opulent royal wedding of the divine couple, Vishnu Priya and Sri Nimai Pandit. All the people of Navadvip and the neighboring villages came to the wedding. During the ceremony, all eyes were on the divine couple, as if to devour the matchless beauty of Vishnu Priya and Nimai Pandit. The Vaishnavas sang Hari's glories. The Brahmins made a circle around the Lord and chanted the Vedas. A sea of joy flooded the four directions. Those who didn't drown simply floated in bliss. The night before Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, he spoke to Vishnu Priya Devi to give her instructions and vanquish her grief and pain. After Sri Nimai Pandit left Navadvip, Vishnu Priya adopted an austere and devoted life. She became as thin as the crescent moon before Amavasya, dark moon. Following a rigid sadhana spiritual practice, she set aside 1 grain of rice for every round of Hare Krishna japa she chanted. So we can maybe do that this morning, before Prasadam. In the evening, Vishnu Priya Devi cooked these grains, offered them to her personal deity of Mahaprabhu, and honored the remnants. Known today as Dharmeshwar Mahaprabhu, Vishnu Priya's gorgeous deity of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu resides in Navadvip city. Sriman Mahaprabhu receives regular worship and gives unlimited mercy. Funnily enough, actually, on my folder, my Sankirtan folder, right at the very back, it's a picture of the deity that Vishnu Priya used to worship. Saraswati Puja. Worship of Saraswati, the goddess of learning and speech. On this day, prayers are offered for the blessing of wisdom and knowledge. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, appearing in 1638, Sri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Actually, somebody just gave me his Bhagavad Gita, the commentary. It's interesting to read. So I'm reading 3 Bhagavad Gitas at the same time right now. Srila Prabhupada's one, I read a chapter. Then I read Bhajkishore, a simple Gita. And then I read Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, which is interesting. So he appeared, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, appearing in 1638, Hari Vallabha Das came in the descendant succession from Sri Narottam Das Thakur. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur took Diksha from Radharaman Chakravarti. Although married, Vishnu was indifferent and soon renounced family life. He came to Vrindavan Dham and did Krishna Bhaja at Radhakund. He was known as the crest jewel of the Vaishnavas because of his pure devotion, scholarship, and realized perception of Radhagokundananda's intimate conjugal pastimes. He was the protector, guardian, and acharya of the historical development of Gaudiya Vaishnavism during the 16th and the 17th century. During his stay in Vrindavan, Vishwanath worshipped deities of Radha Gokundananda and Sri Giriraj. His Govardhan Shila was first worshipped by Lord Chaitanya, then Raghunath Das Goswami, Krishna's Kaviraj, Sri Mukundadas, Srimati Krishna Priya Thakurani, and then by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur himself. Okay, so that Govardhan Shila's got a thumbprint in it. And Radha Gokundananda's in Swarup Damodar, Radha Damodar, isn't it? When you go to see Radha, the place where Srila Prabhupada used to chant is by Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. And the deities of Radha Gokundananda are worshipped there. And there's also the Shila. And Lord Chaitanya was massaging the Govardhan Shila, and the Govardhan Shila melted. And there's a thumbprint of Lord Chaitanya in the Govardhan Shila. And you can see that on the altar of Radha Gokundananda. And all the samadhis are there as well in the courtyard of all the great saints. Srila Prabhupada said it was the hub of the spiritual world. Today, his Giriraj Govardhan deity resides in the Radha Gokundananda temple in Vrindavan. Some claim the Govardhan Shila is in Bhagavat Nivas in Ramanareti near the ISKCON Krishna Balarama Mandir. In a dream, Lord Sri Krishna ordered Vishwanath to make commentaries on the Goswami's books. Immediately he started writing prolifically. Clouds would shield him from the sun whenever he sat down to write. Once a torrential downpour flooded the area where Vishwanath was writing his Bhagavat commentaries. Miraculously, not a drop touched Vishwanath or his Bhagavat manuscript. While compiling Mantrata Dipika, explanation of Kama Gayatri, Vishwanath became perplexed. According to his exhaustive research, which indicated 25, he couldn't substantiate why Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote in Caitanya Caritamrta that the Kama Gayatri contains 24.5 syllables, and that these syllables correspond to the 24.5 moons present in Krishna's transcendental body. In a dream, Srimati Radhika instructed Vishwanath, "Oh Vishwanath, please don't lament anymore. What Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote is true. He is also my confidential maidservant. He knows everything about my secret innermost moods. This Kama Gayatri is the mantra for worshipping me. Indeed, I can be known by the syllables of this mantra," which is the 7 lines of the Gayatri. Klim Kama Deva Vidmahi Pushpabhanya Dhimahi. This Kama Gayatri is the mantra for worshipping me. Indeed, I can be known by the syllables of this mantra. Without my mercy, no one can learn anything about the mystery of this mantra. The solution to the half syllable is found in the book Varnagama Basvadi. Seeing this book, Krishnadas Kaviraj wrote as he did. The letter Ya, which is followed by the letter V, as in Devaya Vidmahi, is considered to be a half syllable. This falls on Krishna's forehead because his forehead is shaped like the halo of a half moon. All the other letters of the mantra are full syllables and therefore full moons. Now wake up, check that book, and compile as evidence for everyone's benefit. Instantly awaking, Vishnu cried out in ecstasy, "Hey Radhe, hey Radhe, hey Radhe!" Having Radharani's darshan infused Vishnu Chakravarti's writing with divine Shakti. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur wrote over 40 Sanskrit books on the science of pure devotion to Radha Giridhari. He also made sweet and highly realized Rasikatikas, commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the works of Srila Goswami, Kavikarna Purna, and Narottam Das Thakur. His writings include Krishna Bhavanamrita, Madhurya Kandambani, which is a really nice one to read, Madhurya Kandambani. That's Sridharati Chintamani by Shiva Ramanuja's expansion of Madhurya Kandambani. Brajriti Chintamani, Chatmatikara, Chandrika, Swapna Visamrita, Sankalpa Kalpadruma, and others. He wrote the Guruvastika song as well, which we sing every morning during Mangalarti. The life and teachings of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad give happiness, inspiration, and transcendental wisdom to the entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. In Krishna Leela, he serves Srimati Radhika as Vinod Manjari. His samadhi is in the Radhago Kunalanda temple courtyard. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Pundarik Vijayanidhi. That was also what I wanted to know. Srila Pundarik Vijayanidhi was a disciple of Sri Madhavendra Puri and the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandey. He was Maharaj Vrishabhanu, Srimati Radharani's father in Krishna Lila. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore treated him as his father. Pundarik Vijayanidhi's father was known as Baneshwar and his mother's name was Gangadevi. Pundarik Vijayanidhi was also an intimate friend of Swarup Damodar. Once in Jagannath Puri, Pundarik Vijayanidhi met Swarup Damodar after a long separation. In a joyful mood of friendship, Pundarik and Swarup wanted to take the dust from each other's feet. A scuffle began as they tried simultaneously to catch the feet of one another, but at the same time avoid having their own feet caught. Both being quite strong, neither won. But Sri Gauranga enjoyed their sporting play and everyone laughed. Pundarik Vijayanidhi has other names: Sri Vijayanidhi, Acharya Nidhi, Bhaktya Nidhi, and Prema Nidhi, given by Lord Chaitanya. Simply by hearing his name, the whole world becomes purified, said Gaura. Whoever recites or hears the following narration of the meeting of Pundarik Vijayanidhi and Sri Gadadhar Pandit will receive the treasure of love of God. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay, so get ready to receive the treasure of love of God. When he first arrived in Navadvip, Pundarik Vijayanidhi disguised himself as a worldly sense enjoyer. Besides Mukunda, no one knew that Pundarik Vijayanidhi was a pure Vaishnava. Today, I will introduce you to a most exceptional Vaishnava, said Mukunda, as he took Gadadhar Pandit to meet Pundarik Vijayanidhi. They found Pundarik Reclining on an opulent brass bed covered with red satin sheets and silk pillows, topped with 3-tiered canopy, a gem-studded pan box stuffed with fragrant spices and betel nuts waited within arm's reach. 2 shiny brass spittoons stood as silent sentries beside the bed. Seeing the mirror stained red from his chewing pan, Pundarik laughed heartily. 2 servants cooled him with peacock fans. Was this a Vaishnav or a prince wallowing in luxury, wondered Gadadhar Pandit. Doubts arose in his mind about Pundarik Vijayanath's spiritual status. Reading his mind, Mukunda decided to reveal the highly exalted transcendental identity of Pundarik Vijayanath. Mukunda recited Srimad Bhagavatam 10.6.35. Always hankering to taste the blood of small children, Putana came to kill baby Krishna. However, because she offered her breast to the Supreme Lord, Putana attained the greatest blessing of her being accepted as a mother of Sri Krishna. Hearing this verse totally transformed Pundarik Vijayanath. A Ganges river of tears flooded his eyes, perspiration rained from his body, and his heirs stood erect. He ripped off his embroidered silk shirt and wildly thrashed his legs about. Rolling on the ground, he wailed, "The Lord is infinitely merciful, yet he deprives me of his mercy." His clothes, brass bed, fine bed sheets, mirror, spittoons, all his opulent trappings were ripped to shreds and smashed to bits. 10 men tried but couldn't restrain the force of Pundarik's ecstasy. Finally, his spiritual emotions reached their peak and he lost external consciousness. After witnessing this spectacular display of transcendental feelings, Gadadhar Pandit realized his offense in misjudging Pundarik Vijayanath to be a materialistic devotee. To rectify his mistake, he wanted to take initiation from Pundarik Vijayanath. 6 hours later, Sri Pundarik returned to external consciousness. Now he seemed calm and composed. Happily, he initiated Gadadhar Pandit. Another incident in the life of Pundarik Vijayanath involves us criticizing the priest of the Jagannath temple for offering an unwashed woolen covering to the Lord. Jagannath chastised him personally for this by slapping his cheeks. The original home of Pundarik Vijayanath was in East Bengal in a village near Dhaka named Bagia. Jai Shri Vaishnavacharya's ki Jai. So what were the 2 different aspects of Raganuga Bhakti that Prabhupada was saying? Sensual, yeah. Sensual and relationship. So I don't know if that's Bob and Rasa. In this connection, there is a statement by Narada Muni to Yudhisthira in the 7th canto, 1st chapter, verse 30 of Srimad Bhagavatam. There Narada says, "My dear king, there are many devotees who first become attracted to the personality of God for the purpose of sense gratification, for being envious of him out of fear, or from desiring to associate affectionately with him. Ultimately, these attractions become free from all material contaminations, and gradually the worshipper develops spiritual love and achieves the ultimate goal of life desired by the pure devotees." So that would seem to be a relationship. The gopis may be considered to be examples of a spontaneous love and sensual attraction. Okay, so that one was relationship, and then the gopis is sensual attraction. The gopis are young girls, and Krishna is a young boy. Superficially, it seems that the gopis are attracted to Krishna on the grounds of sex. Similarly, King Kamsa was attracted to Krishna because of fear. Kamsa was always fearful of Krishna because it had been foretold that his sister's son Krishna would kill him. Shishupal was also always envious of Krishna, and the descendants of King Yadu, due to their family relationship with Krishna, were always thinking of him as one of their members. All these different kinds of devotees have a spontaneous attraction for Krishna in different categories, and they achieve the desired goal of life. Okay. Om Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda Jaya Jaya Shri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're reading from the Caitanya Caritamrta. This is Madhya Lila. Chapter is entitled. What is the chapter entitled? It is entitled The Opulence and the Sweetness of Lord Krishna. And is this a conversation between Lord Caitanya and Sanatana Goswami? We had a nice class by, what's his name, Bhakti Vasudev Maharaj in Tamana. And he went through all the Sanskrit, all the word for word, even when it wasn't a purport. It took ages to actually get to a purport. Yeah. Yeah, he was very slow and methodical. Text 30. Okay, so I'll just read. Apara Aishvara Krishna Nahika Ganana Sakka Chandra Naye Kari Dig Darashana. No one can estimate the opulence of Krishna. That is unlimited, however. Just as one sees the moon through the branches of a tree, I wish to give a little indication. Small purport. First, the child is shown the branches of a tree, and then he is shown the moon through the branches. This is called Sakachandra Nayaya. The idea is that first one must be given a simpler example, then the more difficult background is explained. Aishvarya Kahiti Spurila Aishvarya Sagara Manandriya Dubala Prabhu Haila Panpara. While describing the transcendental opulence of Krishna, the ocean of opulence manifested in the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his mind and senses were immersed in this ocean. Thus he was perplexed. Bhagavatira Eshloka Padila Apane Ata Aishvaditi Sukhe Kalina Vyakyane. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally recited the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, and just to relish the meaning, he began to explain it himself. So this is Swayam tu Ashamatash Abhishta. You know this one? Swaraja Lakshana Apta Samasta Kama Balam Haradibis Chira Loka Palai Kita Koti Dita Padapita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the master of the three worlds and the three principal deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, known as equal to or greater than him. By his spiritual potency, known as Swarajaya Lakshmi, all his desires are fulfilled. While offering their dues and presents in worship, the predominating deities of all the planets touch the lotus feet of the Lord with their helmets, and thus they offer prayers to the Lord. This is a quotation from, this is verse 21 of the second chapter, third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Parama Ishvara Krishna Swayam Bhagavan Tata Bada Tanra Samakehi Nahiyan. Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is the greatest of all. No one is equal to him, nor is anyone greater than him. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadya De Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Ananda Vigraha. Krishna, known as Govinda, is the supreme controller. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, for he is the prime cause of all causes. This is the first verse of the 5th chapter of the Brahma Samhita. So I'll just read the translations. The primary predominating deities of this material creation are Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. Nonetheless, they simply carry out the orders of Lord Krishna, who is the master of them all. Lord Brahma said, following the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I create, Lord Shiva destroys, and he himself in the form of Karuna, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, maintains all the affairs of the material nature. Thus, the supreme controller of the three modes of material nature is Lord Vishnu. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is only a general description. Please try to understand another meaning of Triyadisha. The three Purusha incarnations of Vishnu are the original cause of the material creation. Mahavishnu, Padmanabha, and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu are the super souls of all subtle and gross existences. Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Mahavishnu is known as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, the super soul of everything. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, from whose lotus navel Brahma was created, is also Hiranyagarbha and is the total super soul and the subtle super soul. Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is the universal form and the gross super soul. Om Jnana Timaranda Shagananjana Shalakaya Shaksharan Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Caitanya Manobhastam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasadi Gaurabhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, I'll speak a little bit about this and then maybe go on. It looks like there's a lot of translations. Yeah. So, Vanchikapa Trubhisha Kripatsin Nuvicha Padinam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. So it's interesting that we're here in Lesmahago, which is a tiny part of Scotland, which is a little part of the earth, which is a little speck in the universe. And the universe is interesting because that universe has come out of a pore of the skin of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And we're in that. And the layers of the universe are 10 times thicker than the previous one. So the universe is 4 billion miles wide, at least our one is. So that means that the first covering of Earth is 40 billion miles wide. And then the next covering is water. And water is 10 times 40 billion, 400 billion. And to give you some idea of how small we are, if you take a universe that's only an inch across and you multiply it by 7 layers, 10 times, there is an 8th element, false ego, but for some reason it's only considered as 7 layers of the universe. Somebody once said that was because the false ego is just a conception. I don't know, but it says 7 layers. Although funnily enough, in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopkamara is going through to get to the Brahman, he goes through all these layers, and in each layer is like a universe itself, and it has a presiding deity. It's not like they're all just, it's like solid mud, and they're all just like stuck in the earth, and they can't go anywhere. It's like another realm. Interesting, eh? And he goes through all these different realms, and one of them is false ego. I don't know. Anyway, if you have a universe that's an inch across, and each layer is 10 times thicker, and you have 7 layers, then if you measure the entire layer, it's 1,400 miles to 1 inch. So if it's 4 billion miles, you can just imagine how thick the layer is. And the universe is golden and shaped like an egg. And that comes popping out of so you can imagine if that's coming out of the pore, and we're a fraction of space inside that golden egg, and inside that fraction of space we're sitting on a speck, and we're a speck on that speck. It really if you try meditating on that when you chant your japa, it really makes makes it easy to not become distracted, because you realize how insignificant and useless these thoughts are that we're preoccupied with. Like, we're so distracted by the most inconsequential, trivial nonsense, and we're getting to approach the absolute truth. Krishna, who's, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Just this, and Krishna says, I pervade the universe with a fragment of myself. What need is there of all this detailed information? So the whole thing is nothing compared to Krishna. And if we're becoming distracted when we're chanting our japa, then it's really pathetic, really. It's like going up to you and saying, I'm going to give you £5 million now. 50 billion pounds now. I'm going to give you 50 billion pounds. Hold your arms out. And just as you're holding your arms out, you say, hold on a second. I think, is that 5 pence on the floor? And because you're groveling around on the floor trying to find 5 pence, that's almost, if I get another 5 of them, I can get myself a Mars bar. And the guy's like, oh, I've got 50 billion pounds for you here. I know, I'll come to that in a minute. Just want to get that 5 pence. It's like, why do we take it so seriously? Why are we so obsessed? So we read the books, Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrta, we try and get some perspective and try and grasp the significance of what's going on, so it does not go over our head. Shishikona Maya Pashashiki Jai. Srila Prabhupada said, this Krishna consciousness is so simple you could miss it. Like the man who couldn't see the forest for the trees. You heard that story? There was a man trying to see the forest. And he was looking and he says, I can't see it, there's too many trees in the way. So that's why we read the books, actually, to try and understand, to try and get perspective on things. So imagine you chant your japa, and Garbhodakshaya Vishnu has actually just breathed out practically his entire breath, because it takes him half the lifetime of Brahma to breathe out. And then as he breathes in, that's the other half of the lifetime of Lord Brahma. So by the time he breathes in, that's Brahma's life finished. The universe collapses and it goes back into the pose of Mahavishnu. And then he breathes out. And when he breathes in and everything goes in, that's 100 years of Lord Brahma. And his 100 years, although they seem so long to him, they seem like the same as 100 years for an ant. It's the same experience of time. So you're experiencing your life right now. Brahma is about 50 years old now. He's experiencing the same rate of time that we would be if we were 50 years old. And for Mahavishnu, it's nothing. One lifetime of Brahma is nothing. It's just one breath. One day of Brahma is 1,000 cycles of the yugas. So every day there's 1,000 Kali yugas in Lord Brahma's life. If something happens in your life 1,000 times a day, it's not usually very significant, right? Say, how many times do you blink a day? It's probably more than 1,000 then. But imagine Kali Yuga is just like blinking. It's like so insignificant. And then there's 1,000 of them. And they just keep rotating around. Everything starts off great, then it goes down, then it goes completely terrible, then it goes great again. And it just like everything in the universe. You have spring, and then eventually autumn, and everything breaks down. Everything goes in cycles. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Could you just clarify, what is the goal of life?
The goal of life is to enjoy yourself as much as possible. Try to eat as much as possible. Sleep as much as possible. Achihara. Achihara prayasascha prajopani amagraha. The goal of life is to acquire unnecessary things, to speak nonsense, to ignore the examples of great saints, and to follow wherever the general public are doing. So you take 4 vows: illicit sex, intoxication, eat meat, and gamble. You have to go on Facebook for 2 hours a day and speak nonsense-related celebrity gibberish.
I struggle with that last one. Have you, any gurus you could recommend?
And where Suchi Vrat, we take the vow not to do those things. And as Suchi Vrat, the demoniac take the vow to do those things. They're sworn to unclean work. So they vow, they commit that I must do these activities every day. And it's funny, I was doing Sankirtan yesterday, and I was like asking people for donations to help us with our work. And I thought, I must just do straight books. And so I stopped some guy who says, yeah, we've got this Bhagavad Gita. And he goes, my God, I've been looking for a Bhagavad Gita for ages. So I've been reading the Mahabharata and I really wanted to get my hands on the Bhagavad Gita. And he says, how much do you want? I said, 10 quid. He goes, I'll have it. I'll take it. Yeah, definitely. And it was just interesting that people are also becoming, are stumbling across what the goal of life is themselves. They're kind of intuitively working it out, And then when you hand them one of Srila Prabhupada's books, all those lines, all those dots will get joined up. They'll all get all these different things that they've realized about life. And so this other guy was running past with his girlfriend really fast. He was really trying to get past me. I said, it's for the organic vegetarian farm. He goes, oh, don't talk to me about vegetarian. I love my meat. I have to eat meat every day. And he just suddenly got caught, and this is well, they've got a school in Glasgow where the kids get taken down to the abattoir and half of them go vegetarian on the spot. I said, maybe if you saw it. He goes, oh no, couldn't handle that. And then his girlfriend was like, oh no, we don't want to hear it, And then I told them the story of the boy that went vegetarian because his mother had made rabbit soup for him in Russia and she'd forgot to take the eyes out. One of the eyes came bubbling up to the surface while he was eating the soup and he went vegetarian like that. So I was telling her that story and she was like, oh. So they're just on the edge. They're sworn to unclean work. And then through the mercy of Prabhupada and his books, we can make them turn and then they can become Suchi Vrat. They can take the vows not to do these things. So then if you take Suchi Vrat, if you vow to be Suchi, to be clean, there's Muchi and there's Suchi. So Muchi is filthy, contaminated, and Suchi is clean. So then you take the vow, I'm going to get clean, So you stop the gross activity and then you start to purify the subtle activity that's going on. And that stage is called Anartha Nivritti, where you're becoming cleansed now. You know what the goal of life is. Swasti Aina, you've embarked on an auspicious journey. And now you want to achieve. The real goal isn't just to go on the journey. The real goal is to achieve the destination. Some people are so happy that they're on the journey that they then forget to pursue the destination. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm on the journey. Wow, where are you going? I'm not sure, but at least I'm going somewhere. I've got crystals now, and I go for salt baths, Himalayan salts, and I rub essential oils on my forehead, and I'm on a spiritual journey. I'm not quite sure where I'm going, but at least I'm better than everybody else. So that's swastika. You start the journey, but then the shubham is you reach the goal. You achieve the goal. And the goal is Goloka. There is a spiritual realm. There's the Brahman, then there's the Vaikuntha-dham, then Ayodhya-dham, and then there's Goloka. Goloka is the biggest planet in the spiritual world. It's bigger than all the others put together. So that's what we want. We want to go to the Goloka is shaped like a big lotus flower with all petals on it. It's really big, and Krishna's there. And he's very intimate, so all the devotees that are there in Goloka, they all think they've got Krishna in their quarter. So the way reality works is, in reality, you only have so many people in your life. You only have one set of parents, one set of friends, and Krishna's there. It's not like in Goloka, there's like 10 million people, and they're all there with their binoculars, trying to see Krishna while they're having a picnic. You know, everyone is right there with Krishna. He's with everybody. I saw a nice picture of that actually. It shows you this. Picture of I think it's a big flower, big sunflower, then a beautiful blue sky, this really bright sunflower, and then on a glass surface are all these drops of water, and in each drop of water you can see the sunflower. So that's what Krishna's like. He's with everyone because he's so powerful. Sorry, you have a question?
You were mentioning about Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu and obviously Mahavishnu. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is within the individual universe. Is he in the covering of the universe? Or he's within that 1 inch, or like?
Yeah, he's within the 1 inch. Yeah,
within the 1 inch.
Yeah,
but outside of the perception of most beings. Is that?
Yeah, even Brahma had to do austerity before he could see him. Everything was dark, and then he could see him. He could see that the lotus was coming up from his navel. You know.
So he's lying on this ocean.
Yeah.
And
of perspiration.
Of perspiration.
Gaba means perspiration. Yeah.
Okay. And the universe is sitting atop this ocean, is it, or above?
Only half of the universe is occupied, yeah, because the other half is full of water.
Okay.
And then you have the lower planetary systems, the middle, and then the higher.
I just wonder, because we get told so many things in our materialistic mind, like way of looking at things, you know, the way we look at space and such like. And it doesn't look like anybody's really discovered, like, you know, water anywhere in the universe, like a big ocean. So no. I was just wondering if it's kind of beyond our normal instruments and perceptions.
Well, just say we could invent a machine, and the machine was an ant translator. So that means you can have the conversation with an ant, right? So we'll find an ant, or you don't get too many ants in Scotland. Find a little woodlice, and we put it up on this little platform, and then we ask the woodlice, "What do you think about the paintings in the temple room?" And the woodlice is just, "Sorry, I'm looking for bits of wood. There's a nice juicy bit over there. I'm going to go over," and it just isn't within its capacity to comprehend that there's a painting on a wall which represents a 3-dimension in 2-dimension. It's just beyond, you know. So how? And then we're so proud, we're thinking that we can figure things out. We haven't got the capacity. We haven't got the time, actually. It takes a certain amount of time to process the information to come up with certain conclusions. And the time is that fast that you haven't got the time to really work it all out, to figure it out, you know. You'd be dead before you could figure it out. So the better thing is, rather than trying to understand it, and it's interesting the way the universe is constructed, the way the material energy is constructed, that you just have your different levels of puzzlement. So the woodlice is puzzled about what's going on. It's like you hear a big bang, or it hears a machine going on and starts playing music. It doesn't really know what's going on, it's puzzled on a very superficial level. Then we know so much, and then we reach a level where we're puzzled, and we just can't figure things out. And then you go right up to Lord Brahma, and he's puzzled. Everyone in the material world is puzzled. It's just how complex your puzzlement is. You can be simply puzzled, or you can be very elaborately puzzled, but you still come to the stage of being puzzled.
It was mentioned that the only two things that exist is the holy name and the jiva. So if that is all there is, then all this other sort of elaboration isn't necessary for us to understand, is it? We can just surrender to Krishna and then buy bother
Krishna
with
says,
these details.
Ahame Vashame Vagra. He says, whatever appears to be real, if it is out connection with me, has no reality. And then he says, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Janmadhya Jayatan Vyadatar Chates Prigat Swarat Taini Brahma, Vida Adhikavya Mansurya Tejo Varimadam Yatavenim Mio Yatra Trisago Misha Damnasvena Sadana Rastaku Kamsa Champaram Dimahi. He says, this material world, which is manifest from the interaction of the three modes of material nature, although appearing factual, is actually not real. So, and Krishna says in the Gita, whatever exists doesn't change, and whatever there is of which there is no endurance has no existence. So you can look at everything and think, does it endure? Does this tissue endure? If it doesn't endure, it doesn't have any existence, really. And Srila Prabhupada did say, well, in the sense the tissue does exist, in the sense that this is Krishna's energy, this is inferior energy. So once you see everything in relation to Krishna, then you can see how it actually exists. But if you try to see how it exists in its own right, independent of any creation or any source, then you're seeing an illusion. It's an illusion. Anything you're seeing that you don't see in connection with Krishna is an illusion. And that just takes purification. You can't think, okay, well, if I was purified, I would see it like this. So I'll tell you what, let's skip the purified bit, and I'm just going to see it like this. Save myself a bit of time. You can't avoid going through the purification to be able to see it like that.
Sorry, Prabhu. On the purification thing, if someone wants to refuse to go through that process, if Krishna wants them to go through it, then will they go through it, or will they just be left to remain in ignorance?
Well, they can be cast down into lower species. It's not that everyone automatically becomes purified. If you develop a demoniac mentality, then you really cause a lot of problems for yourself. Because the material energy will really give you a lot of difficulty. But if you're not demoniac, but you're just innocent, then over a period of time, you can acquire the sukriti to be able to understand. The first is mahapunya, is your first punya, your first credit, is that you secure a human birth. And if you can do that, then whatever you've worked out in this lifetime won't get washed away by all the different animal species that you have to go through before you get a human form again. So the very first thing you need to do as a human being is mahapunya. You need to secure a human birth in your next life. Otherwise, whatever you've worked out, whatever you've learned, it'll all be lost. Trayati mahato bhayat is the greatest fear, to get everything stripped from you, which is what happens when you lose the human form of life.
Just a little clarification on that, Prabhu. I heard it, I've seen it written that any progress that one makes on a spiritual path is never lost. So it's not possible for someone who's making progress on the spiritual path to fall down to the animal species.
Yeah, that's mahapunya. So once you've done some spiritual activity, even if you just touched one of Srila Prabhupada's books or some Vedic scripture, or you've been given some prasad or seen the deities, then Mahapunya, then you're protected from the most dangerous type of fear. So when we're going out doing our Sankirtan and we're approaching people and giving them the holy name, or we're giving them books, or invite them to come and do some chanting with us, we're guaranteeing they're going to get a human birth. Now that's very good for everybody actually, because if we do have to come back in our next life, human society will be enriched by people that are not just here for the first time. They're not just coming from animal births. They're coming from human births. So they'll have a certain level of resonance with spiritual things because of previous contact, and they'll have a certain aversion to sinful things as well because of their previous contact. So that means that the field of activities is starting to become cultivated, like if you have land, so you're getting a higher grade of human society, and then of them an increasing number will embark on the auspicious journey of spiritual practice. There's so many stories of people that, although they stray away because they've embarked on the path, everything is becoming auspicious for them now. And then there will be a growing percentage of people in human society that have achieved Shubham, that are going back this lifetime. This is their last lifetime. It's very rare now, but as we go on and we keep cultivating the field, that percentage will increase more and more and more. There'll be a growing number of people that are on their way back to Godhead. And if you're going back to Godhead, all the people that you knew, or your relatives and your friends, it puts them in a very auspicious situation, because you know about them, you have some connection with them, and now you're going back to the ultimate destination. So if they think about you, or they pray to you, then they get so much benefit for that because of their connection with you. Jai Yaskon Guru Vrinda ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanandi.